Volodymyr Zelensky, the comedian candidate joking at the ballot box, asking if he can cast more than one vote for the camera. Zelensky comes to the candidacy by way of a hit TV show called Servant of the People, where he plays an outsider elevated to the presidency. So, does playing a president on TV teach you how to do it in real life? Supporters and analysts have different views.
I don't know if there is such a person as the protagonist in the series, but I'd like to believe in that.
Zelensky is new. He is not part of the system. He is against the system, and there are demands for change in this country.
Zelensky may not be entirely outside the system. Many say he's in the pocket of an oligarch who owns the TV channel Zelensky's program appears on, who opposes present President Petro Poroshenko.
People don't support Zelensky, they just want to show their attitude, negative attitude to Poroshenko.
Poroshenko is the president Ukrainians have now, the chocolate billionaire who rode his confectionery fortune to the presidency in the last election. To many, he represents everything that is wrong about Ukraine now: corruption and low living standards. He made his name as a pro-European, anti-Russian candidate, and he's sticking to it.
We have passed the test for our European ways, and it means everything we do to head in the European direction is absolutely right.
With an outsider comedian all but poised to become president, many Ukrainians do not seem to believe he's playing games with the country's future.
Добрый вечер. Знаете, я сразу хочу сказать, у нас сегодня просто концерт, никакой агитации. Все по-честному, вы ж деньги заплатили. Такое еще мир не видел.
Chic is Volodymyr Zelensky's trademark. He and his troupe, Kvartal 95, are famous for mocking the political elite. So during the election campaign, the comedian simply stuck to his day job and went on tour. The form...
Зробили це разом. А зараз, дуже дякую кожному, зараз не буде ніякого пафосу. Я просто хочу сказати дякую.
Ніколи не здавайся. Чую я і зараз, коли бачу ці результати екзитполів. А вони очевидні. І дають підстави зараз подзвонити моєму опонентові і привітати.
Дякую усім українцям, де ви зараз не знаходились. Я обіцяю, що ніколи не підведу вас усіх. Усім країнам пострадянського Союзу. Подивіться на нас. Усе можливо. Я розпускаю Верховну Раду 8-го скликання. Слава Україні! І наше найперше завдання – припинення вогню на Донбасі. Готові до діалогу, але я уверен, что первым шагом для начала этого диалога станет возвращение всех украинских пленных. Наш наступний виклик – це повернення втрачених територій. Чесно кажучи, мені здається, що це формулювання не зовсім коректне, бо неможливо втратити те, що і так наше по праву. І Крим, і Донбас – це українська земля. де ми втратили не тільки території, ми втратили найголовніше – це людей. И сегодня мы просто должны, я уверен, они нас слышат, возвращать их сознание. Мы потеряли это сознание. За эти годы власть не сделала ничего, чтобы они чувствовали себя украинцами. Они не чужие, вони наші, вони українці. 7 ночей.
We've hardly slept for 7 nights. Or we sleep, but anxiously. My dears, the time will come when we'll be able to sleep. But it'll be after the war, after the victory, in a peaceful country, as we need.
After the victory, a brand new video message released moments ago from Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky. Of course, he's a former comedian who was a political novice, and now he's leading his country in this fight for survival. CNN's Phil Black takes a look at his path to leadership.
There's one really good reason why, even in peacetime, many wondered whether Volodymyr Zelensky had what it took to lead his country. His preparation for the job was pretending to lead his country. In the popular Ukrainian TV show, Servant of the People, he played another unlikely president. A teacher suddenly elevated to the highest office after a private rant about corruption goes viral. In real life, his political party uses the name of the show as its own. Zelensky's showbiz career was all comedy and light entertainment, including playing Paddington Bear in the movie franchise's Ukrainian release. Somehow, that path has led him to the role of wartime president at a perilous moment for his country.
Is it fair to say that he was an unlikely presidential candidate and he is a thoroughly improbable wartime leader?
I think that is fair to say. He's a man of extraordinary achievements and capabilities.
Всім доброго ранку, українці.
Capabilities widely noticed through his recent example of leadership. Zelensky's videos from the streets of Kiev are being watched everywhere. Calm, determined, insistent the world must do more. And he's provided perhaps the most memorable line of the war so far, responding to a US offer to get him out of Kiev with, "The fight is here. I need ammunition, not a ride."
And you can be sure that that courage is appreciated and has strengthened his own people and their resolve to deal with this act of blatant aggression.
He could personally make a difference to the outcome, you believe?
Oh, there's no doubt about it. Look, he is now an international hero, a living symbol of standing firm against overwhelming odds.
In an exclusive interview with CNN's Matthew Chance, Zelensky played down the personal risks and hardship he's enduring.
I'm the president of Ukraine, and I'm not iconic. I think the Ukraine is iconic, and I always was sure in it, and I knew it always. I knew it that Ukraine is special country. Ukraine is the heart of Europe.
Zelensky has met his foe. He sat across from Vladimir Putin during talks in late 2019. Clearly the junior, vastly less experienced statesman. Now Putin's forces are coming for him. This moment is revealing Zelensky's character.
Hundreds of thousands took part in the Maidan revolution in 2014. Back then, protesters had high hopes, ending endemic corruption and transforming the economy. But that was 5 years ago. Nothing's really improved, and Ukraine is still in a war with Russia that's seen 13,000 casualties.
Россия не получит новую территорию Украины. Россия присоединит себя к той катастрофе, которую она принесла на оккупированную территорию нашей страны. Россия приравняет себя к так называемым ДНР и ЛНР, окончательно добьет те институции нормальной государственности, которые в России еще оставались. Оккупант заполняет могилами захваченную территорию Украины. И все больше могил на территории самой России. Оккупант устраивает на захваченной территории пыточные. и заполнит пыточными всю территорию России. Только так теперь будет работать российская полиция, российские спецслужбы. Закон в России уничтожен. И те, кто принес все эти смерти, издевательства, изнасилования из России, унесут их к себе домой. Оккупант уничтожает везде, на захваченной территории, любые основы для жизни. Экономику, социальную сферу, культуру. Ценой того, что один человек в России хочет продолжать эту войну, будет то, что все российское общество останется без нормальной экономики, без достойной жизни, без уважения к каким-либо человеческим ценностям. Это еще можно остановить. Но чтобы это остановить, придется остановить того одного в России, кто хочет войны больше, чем жизнь. Вашей жизни, граждане Росії.
Але більшість з них так і залишаються повсюди. Україна не хоче бути покритою трупом.
Всім добрий вечір. Лідер фракції тут, голова Офісу президента тут, прем'єр-міністр Шмигаль тут, Подоляк тут, президент тут. Всі ми тут, наші військові тут, громадяни суспільства тут, всі ми тут. Захищаємо нашу незалежність, нашу державу. І так буде й далі. Слава нашим захисникам, слава нашим захисникам. Великий народе.
Dear Ukrainians, great people of a great country. On October 14th, we celebrate the Day of Defenders of Ukraine. This is the day of those who fight. This is the day of what we fight for. This is the day of what kind of victory we will gain. A century ago, Ukraine honored this day, and it will honor it a century after us. On October 14th, we express gratitude. Gratitude to everyone who fought for Ukraine in the past and to everyone who is fighting for it now. To all who won then and to everyone who will definitely win now. Win in such a way that it will crown the struggle of many generations of our people with success. The people who always wanted one thing the most – freedom, for themselves and for their children, for our culture. The place where I am now points to the origins of our Ukrainian past. These are the slopes of Vytachiv. Here was one of the most ancient outposts of Rus Ukraine, back in the times of Olga, Sviatoslav and Volodymyr the Great. Sviatopolk, Monomach, Andriy and Oleg were gathering here for the princely congress. Andriy Pervozvanny placed the first cross here. Cossack seagulls used to cross these waters. These shores have seen various invaders and heroes. Here, on the slopes, Taras Shevchenko looked at the Dnipro and the cliffs. This place is a witness of more than a millennium of our history and its important lesson. They tried to capture and enslave the Ukrainian land. They tried to conquer and destroy the Ukrainian people, both 1,000 years ago and in the 20th century. But Ukrainians come here. Here they reflect on our history. The Ukrainian language is spoken here. There is a chapel here built according to Shevchenko's sketch. There were different periods, various threats, but Ukraine endured. This is one reason for that. Our defenders, our people who are fighting for their right to life. In Rus, in siege, during the national liberation struggle against the Nazi occupation and against the Russists. It seems that the current enemy in its evil unites all the enemies of our statehood that we faced before. And by defeating this enemy, we will respond to all enemies who encroached on Ukraine, on those who lived, who live and who will live on our land. This will be a victory for all our people. This will be a victory for the armed forces of Ukraine, our ground forces, infantry, tankers, missile troops and artillery. This will be a victory for our air forces, our anti-aircraft warriors, our drone operators. This will be a victory for our naval forces, our marines, our airborne assault troops, our intelligence, special operation forces, security service of Ukraine. This will be a victory for the border guards, the National Guard, the National Police, the Territorial Defense and the communication officers. This will be a victory for everyone who will not leave even a trace on Ukrainian soil of that enemy that flaunted itself as if it was the second on the planet. This will be a victory for those of our heroes who are now in Russian captivity. Those are now having the most difficult time. It is the most difficult to remain Ukrainian and preserve Ukrainian when they are among the murderers. But we remember. We remember and do everything to return each of our heroes. We will not leave anyone in captivity. The world sees that Ukrainians do not lose their humanity under any circumstances. The enemy can strike at our cities, but never at our dignity. The Russians burned down the Skovoroda Museum, dozens of churches, hundreds of schools and kindergartens, but they can't do anything against our philosophy, against what Ukrainians hear, see and know from a young age. Russian missiles are still capable of driving Ukrainians into bomb shelters, but none of our people shiver there. Ukrainians sing in shelters. We defend our freedom, our soul, our land, our Kyiv, our Zaporizhia, our Odessa, our Dnipro and Mykolaiv, our Kryvyi Rih, our Nikopol, our Khmelnytsky and our Lviv, our Vinnytsia. What we have preserved and will always protect: our Zhytomyr region, Kyiv region, Sumy region, Chernihiv region, Kharkiv region. What we did not give away and will always protect: our Kherson, our Donetsk and Luhansk, our Crimea. We all, great people of a great country, everyone who fights and works for Ukraine to live, diplomats who formed the most powerful global coalition in history to help Ukraine, volunteers who cover any needs, on the ground, in the air and even in space, journalists who spread the truth about Ukraine and about this war, who maintain our morale, our confidence, our awareness, transporters who change supply chains and provide Ukraine with everything it needs, energy workers who defeat the darkness around the clock, builders who restore what was destroyed by the enemy, our heroic doctors, rescuers, sappers, teachers, civil servants, local government, farmers, industrialists, a nation that defeats terror, millions of people who are bringing the crucial day closer, each in his place. Victory Day, the day of victory in the war for our freedom, and the war for independence for all our people in all corners of Ukraine, and the war for the right to life, for the people and for the state whose name is Ukraine, in the war for our values, in the war for our memory and tradition, the tradition of freedom. In this war, everything depends on you, on what you do, on who you help, on what you gain, on who came to help us. The world stands with us, more than ever in our history. This in particular makes us stronger than ever in our history. But just as at any time in our history, the future depends on specific people, on those who are currently in the trenches and on combat posts. Sons, brothers and fathers, daughters, sisters and mothers, Ukrainian men and women to whom I now want to say the main words. You are the most precious thing we have, each and every one. Russia's tanks, inmates and mercenaries oppose you, looters, rapists, and those who have gone mad from propaganda. Thousands of people whose lives are worth nothing to their state. They are thrown into attacks. They have anti-retreat detachments behind their backs. They are not counted and are not even taken away when they die. They do not know what to live for, and that's why they lose the life given to them by God so shamefully. And behind you, Ukrainian warrior, are millions of people who know exactly what they live for. With you, warrior in the trenches, is our entire state. Everything that we have and that is so dear to us. The future of children is with you. The gold of our athletes' victories, our poetry, art and science. Sofia and the Potocki Palace are with you. Our Hortitsa and our Lavra. Our heavenly 100 is with you, and our respect, our faith and our love, because our state is the mother of all defenders. Behind you is Ukraine, which knows exactly what it wants and values. Behind you is the history that has been coming to these heroic days for many centuries, so that you, Ukrainian warrior, will now turn it in the right direction, forever. In the right direction for Ukraine. I know it is extremely hard for you. I know how this enemy puts pressure on you. I know what they do. But I know that you are strong, and we will do everything to make you even stronger. I know that you are confident, and we will do everything to increase your confidence even more. I know that you are bringing victory closer as much as you can, and we will do everything to speed it up. All of us, millions and millions, great people of a great country. Happy Defender of Ukraine Day. Happy intercession of the Most Holy Theotokos. Happy Day of the Ukrainian Cossacks. Glory to all our heroes. Glory to all who fight, work and help. Glory to Ukraine.